What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. We had an absolutely fantastic day of playoff basketball yesterday, of which we saw the Thunder, we saw the Thunder sweep the Grizzlies, complete the sweep on the Grizzlies. They won by 2 points over in Memphis. We saw the Nuggets and Clippers face off. That was a wild game. Series is tied 2-2 now over there. We also saw Cleveland beat the Miami Heat in Miami by 37 points. Absolute obliteration of that team. Cleveland is probably going to pull off the sweep in the next game that they play. And the series that I want to talk about today, and the team specifically I want to talk about today, the Golden State Warriors faced off with the Rockets last night, and they came away 104-93, victorious. Golden State is up 2-1 in that series. And the reason I want to talk about this today is I want to talk about if the Warriors can really pull off making it to the NBA Finals. Because at this point, I don't think it's super unrealistic. The fact that they won last night without Jimmy Butler against this Rockets team was, a little bit of a wake-up call for me to be like, oh, wow, like this team really can make it all the way. It doesn't matter what seed they are. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. If you have Steph Curry on your team, you have a chance every single night to win. It doesn't matter. So the game, was kind of looked like it was going to go in the Rockets' favor for a little bit. I think a lot of people thought that with Jimmy Butler being out, he injured, I think, his glute or something like that in Game 2. So he was out for Game 3. He's day-to-day now, so he's probably going to play in Game 4, I would have to imagine. But, it seemed like they were able to just, take Curry out of the game. They had Amen Thompson kind of face guarding him. Like, literally, Amen Thompson was glued to Curry the entire game. And the only way Curry was getting free was through off-ball movement, screens being set off the ball, which is, very much so a part of his game. So when they would get mixed up on a switch and it would go from Amen Thompson to Tari Eason would get lost sometimes. If they switched from Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason, it was just, there was a lot of switching going on and it was hard to guard him from that perspective. And obviously Curry is just clutch. So he started heating up late in the game. And, the Warriors came away with it. Had a 10-point victory at home. And the game was getting chippy. Like everything else aside for the time being, this series is so fun to watch. It's so entertaining. Whenever you have guys like Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green going up against each other, there's just so much energy and animation about it. It's a great series to watch. There's so much energy here. And but I honestly think so if the Warriors win this series, they're going to play the winner of the Lakers and Timberwolves series in the second round. I think, regardless of who they play, they have a pretty decent chance to advance from that series. Because if you think about it, the Rockets are really the best team they're going to play unless they face up with OKC, right? Talent-wise, in my opinion. The Rockets were not the number 2 seed in the West for no reason. Right, I know the Western standings were very close, and it could have been, Rockets could have been the 5 seed if a couple games didn't go their way. But at the end of the day, the level of athleticism that this team has in Houston is absolutely absurd. Jalen Green, crazy athlete. Amen Thompson, crazy athlete. Tari Eason, crazy athlete. So many of these guys are absurd athletes, and not to mention you have Alperen Sengun, who is one of probably the best centers in the league at this point. Definitely a top 5 center, I would have to imagine. And if the Warriors can beat this, who's to say that they're going to have a tougher time playing the Lakers or the Timberwolves, right? And I think, honestly, their toughest matchup would be OKC. But you can't disregard the level of playoff experience that everyone on this Warriors team has. Steph Curry being a 4-time champion, he knows what he needs to do. He understands the playoffs are a different animal. He understands that there's certain things that they're going to lock him up, and he's not going to be able to do, on a daily basis, right? He's going to have to figure out new ways to score. But this dude can literally be all the way back in the nosebleeds in the arena and make threes. It doesn't matter. So unless you're face guarding him, even if you are face guarding him, he's still going to figure out how to score and, make the right play. So I genuinely think I would love to see the Rockets advance because I like to see, these young teams that are fresh into the playoffs get more experience because that means they're going to come back next year and, want it even more. So if they don't advance past the second round or the conference finals this year, next year they're going to come back and they're going to be like, well, we want more. We want to make it to the finals this time. So I think either way, I'm going to be happy with the outcome, but I just think there is so much going on here. I mean, Sengun's been phenomenal. He's, leading the team in points and rebounds in the playoffs so far, 19.3 points per game and 12 rebounds a night, 4 assists as well, and 1.7 steals. You got Jalen Green at 18 points a night, Dylan Brooks at 13.3 points per night. Fred VanVleet needs to up his scoring. He's only averaging 11.3 over these 3 games. Only 4 assists as well. Fred VanVleet needs to kind of get into things. He's been struggling, only shooting 26.8% throughout the series, shooting 20.7% from 3. So if Fred VanVleet can figure it out and start putting the ball in the basket a little bit better, I mean, I think the Rockets can come back and easily win this series. It's just you need to have everything hitting to beat a Warriors team like this, especially with Jimmy Butler. So I thought it was a big, it's going to be a big regret for them not winning this game with Jimmy Butler not in the lineup. I just think they had a chance. They kind of blew it late. And, what can you do? It's the playoffs, right? Things happen. But, sometimes those mistakes in the playoffs lead to really big regrets as you head down, the rest of the postseason. So as for the Warriors, though, Steph is playing phenomenal, as we assumed he would. 29 points a night, 7 assists per game. He's just playing amazing. He's shooting 52.6% from the field, 45.2% from 3, 93% from the free throw line. So it's just, and after that, I mean, Jimmy's putting up a decent amount of points too, 14 points per game in the 2 games he played. But everyone after that isn't even really in double digits. Pat Spencer had 11 points in 1 game, but everyone else after that, Kuminga, 9 points a night. Moses Moody, 8.7, Buddy Hield, 8. Pajemski, 8. Gary Payton II, who actually had a great game last night, really stepped up when they needed him to. He's averaging 7.7. Draymond Green's only averaging 6.3. So someone else is going to need to make shots for the Warriors if they're really going to pull this series off and if they're going to advance further in the playoffs if they do advance through this series. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. Obviously, the Warriors' home court advantage is like no other. That arena gets so loud, and those fans are really, really into the team. They love it. So playing in Golden State is going to be tough for any team. So that's why I think they do have a chance to make it to the finals. Everything's going to have to work out perfectly. They're going to have to stay healthy. Steph cannot go down. Jimmy cannot go down again. Draymond has to, stay healthy and stay out of trouble. Don't get any crazy texts or flagrant fouls or any of that stuff that's going to get him suspended. Don't do any of that. But the Warriors have a chance, man. I love how the playoffs are just kind of wide open in the West. Anyone can really advance. Frankly, I thought Memphis was going to give OKC a tougher fight. They did not. But I think the 2-7 matchup here with the Rockets and the Warriors, that's definitely slated to be a much better series because it already has been. So those are my thoughts on that, guys. I want to know what you think, though. Do you think the Warriors can make it to the finals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's all I got for today, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.